Hello, Leo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Leo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 10 of Wands. You're somebody with, I feel like a lot of responsibilities. I feel there's a heavy weight on your shoulders. It may feel at times like you're the only one doing it. You're the only one that's working this hard, that's doing this much activity, that has this much responsibility. Okay, could be that you're in a leadership role, or you're the head of a household, or you run a company, you run a business. Just running our life sometimes can feel overwhelming. It can feel that there's just too much to do and not enough hours in the day to do it, you know. Sometimes this card is saying that we're not really keen on asking for help, or that we perceive the reality as if there isn't anybody here to help us, right? There aren't any other people around, right? Sometimes with this card, I feel like we've been hauling a really big burden through the desert, and this is the moment where we stop and say, wait a minute, where am I going? Why am I carrying all of this? Do I need all this stuff? You know, it's like we're walking around with a backpack full of bricks, and maybe when we started out, there was a good reason for it. I can't remember the reason. You know, so we kind of have to reassess, okay, is there things that I can put down? Are there things that I don't need right now? Do I need all the bricks, right? Why was I carrying the bricks? And, you know, I feel like this is a time where we can sort of reevaluate where our energy is going. Because you're very generous, Leo. You'll help everybody that needs help. You will carry all the weight. You're the one that carries all the groceries into the house, you know, where you kind of line them up on both arms. You're walking in the house like this because you don't want to make a second trip to the car, you know. So sometimes we have to pause and we have to assess, where is my energy going right now in my life, and where can I reclaim some of that, or is this just how it is for now? Or let's see what's going on with a little bit of context. You got the Moon card. Perhaps we're wondering, well, what would happen if I let go of some of these burdens, some of these wands, some of these responsibilities? You know, what would happen if I did ask for help? Okay, so there's kind of there's an uncertainty here with that Moon card. Here's a Four of Swords. Sometimes with the Moon card, it's almost as if Spirit wants us to open up our attention a little bit. That we've been too laser focused on something with that Ten of Wands. Maybe it's just like we got the blinders on. If you look at the Ten of Wands in a typical you know, Rider-Waite-Smith pack of tarot cards, it's somebody who's carrying a big bundle of sticks and they've got their head down. They're just focused on the task, just focused on what they've got to do. It's almost like someone needs to tap them on the shoulder and just say, hey, look around. And then it's like, oh, either I'm already here, or I don't need to feel this way anymore. I can let these burdens, these responsibilities go. Or we lift up our head and we look around, we realize there's a lot of other people that aren't doing anything. You can give them something to do, you know? So sometimes the Moon card is about us kind of unfocusing our attention. It's about us trying to widen the psychic aperture. Okay? Trying to not really focus on any one thing, not to have that laser vision, the tunnel vision of anything, and just to sort of sit back and take everything in at once and really get a more clear perception of what's right around us right now. You know, so it's about kind of foreground versus, you know, background. It's kind of the long distance vision versus seeing what's right here, right now, you know. Anyway, So 4 of Swords back here, or down here, we've got a Tower back there, yeah. We've got a Knight of Pentacles, and High Priestess. The High Priestess is the other moon card, right? There are 2 moon cards. This is the new moon, this is the full moon. Okay, this is the waning moon, this is the waxing moon. Okay, so I feel like the way forward for you is necessarily that exact thing. Like I said, allowing the psychic eye to just open, allow your field of vision to just broaden and widen and take in what's around you right now, rather than having that pinpoint perception of the future. Maybe it feels like you are taking this big, huge stack of, or backpack full of bricks, right? Or this bundle of wood, all this lumber, that you're taking it through a dark, scary forest, and all you're doing is focused on the task at hand. You know, you're very in the moment. Sometimes we have to take a step. It's almost like someone needs to tap us on the shoulder and say, hey, you don't have to work so hard anymore. You know, you can put that down now. You know, by the way, because we get so perhaps wrapped up in what we're doing that we don't realize that maybe the circumstances have changed, or that there are other things going on that we're not noticing right now that will allow us to sort of ease down Ripley, you know. And that is, of course, our High Priestess card in the way forward for you. The Knight of Pentacles has to trust the High Priestess here. There are things that you aren't looking at because we're so focused on this burden, on this responsibility. Okay, maybe this is at work, at home, at school. I mean, it could be everywhere. Here we have an 8 of Cups, but a 10 of Pentacles, the Lover's card, and, well, a Leo power card that is the Prince of Wands. This is a card that represents the Leo energy in action. Okay, so it's not like you to quit. You're not one to give up on stuff. So you've got your head down, you're doing the work. You're doing it hard, and you're not going to quit until Spirit taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, you've already made it. You've done it already, you know? So big changes are coming for you. I think that you're going to realize this 10 of Pentacles, and really this is the spiritual electrical circuit of manifestation, fire to earth, right? You have the 10 of Wands, you're getting the 10 of Pentacles, and you need to pay attention when this gets here. Otherwise, you're just going to be carrying that backpack full of bricks right through the 10 of Pentacles, and you're going to miss it. You know, it's like you're arriving at the oasis, but you're so thirsty and you're so like hell-bent on finding the oasis that you end up just walking straight through it back into the desert. It's like, no, wait a minute. You're here, come back. Okay. And so the 10 of Pentacles, I think, is a very successful accomplishment. It's the reaching of your goal here, right? 10 of Pentacles in the environment, in the position of your relationship. But if you got your head down with that 10 of Wands, you're not going to notice that this is in your environment, right? We're going to select a mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We set it down right here with Mr. Tao, the yin-yang duck, right on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments down below. Now, as we look around the room, we do see a lot of major arcana, don't we? We see a Tower. We see the Moon. We see the High Priestess, and then we see the Lovers. It's a pretty straight shot, right? It's a pretty straight shot. And what you're doing is you're walking right into this card of union with the best life, union with the wealth and the richness of life. You're in a union with your goal here, right? And Spirit's trying to kind of tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, you know, you have to recognize this when you see it. The Tower, I think, is very important too, because I think it kind of was the moment where, I don't know, I feel like there was an exclamation point in life. This was something that you remember greatly. So I feel like you do remember why you're here. I know that there was something significant that happened recently that sort of put you in this position of having to do everything yourself, having all of that 10 of Wands responsibility, right? And so I think you really do, you know why you're carrying all these bricks. You know, I think the idea with the high priestess is that you need to recognize what your goal is and how to recognize, how to see it when you get there. Okay? Because maybe what we're doing is we're carrying all the bricks away from this. Maybe this was, I don't know, could have been anything, positive or negative. It could have been the loss of a job. It could have been getting the job that you always wanted. But it was a surprise. It's a very salient experience. It's an exclamation point. These tower events are the moments in life that you will remember. Right? Life just kind of goes on as normal, but then you get a huge spike of novelty. Those are the moments that those are the stories that we tell later in life. You know, we all have a bunch of those, right? Some people more than others. But these are those moments, okay? And so something happened that then put a lot of responsibility on you. So you know where you're coming from, but do you know where you're going? Do you know what the goal is here? And I guess who is defining the goal? You know, I think that's something you need to do right now. So we have our major arcana. We've got fire and fire. We've got a little bit of water, not the greatest water, I'll be honest. We've got some air, right? And the air is just kind of, I'm not asking questions, I'm just doing it. I'm kind of doing the thing. I'm just sort of, in a way, this is a little bit of trust. Okay, we'll talk about that card. And then, of course, we have our earth cards, too, right? So, like I said, with the Ten of Wands and this Moon card, I'm wondering if you know what is on the other side of the dark, scary forest or on the other side of the desert, right? That right now we're just so... We're so focused on getting away from that tower or reacting to the tower, responding to the tower. It's something that the tower initiated it, and now here we are, you know, it's the tower is the rocket launch, right? And here we are now hurtling through space, okay? And we're just trying to maintain and just keep things going and not let things fall apart, basically, right? Keep our integrity. But the Moon card is kind of saying, like, I don't know, it's uncertain. There's no clearly defined goal here. Okay? So I feel like we're hard at work, but we don't really know where we're going. We know where we've been, and we know the work we're doing right now, but maybe we don't know what the end point is or the end game. We don't know what the finish line will be. We don't know how to recognize the end zone when we see it. Okay? And with the Moon card, it's kind of like, I don't have time to worry about that. I got to just deal with all this stuff that's happening right now. I don't have time to like ponder what my ultimate goals are and all this kind of jazz, you know? That we're just so overwhelmed with the current responsibilities that those current responsibilities are all we know, right? That's all we're sort of doing. But you've got a Knight of Pentacles up top. And so I feel like this is really you recognizing the need to stop, right? Not movement. There's no movement here. The horse is just grazing on some grass here. We're just chilling. Because we need to stop and we need to look ahead and think, what's the summit of the mountain? Can you even see it? I can't see it from here. I can't see what it is. So it's implying that we're climbing this mountain, and I know why I'm climbing it. I know where I've been and what I'm reacting to. I know what I'm getting away from, let's say. But I don't know where I'm really going except up, right? Except away from the tower. The tower is that big burst of energy, a liberation of energy, okay? And we are still just in the momentum of that, but we don't know where we're going to end up. So this card is saying we need to stop. We need to look at the future. We need to have a vision of the future. And we need to be able to see our Ten of Pentacles, who we are, where we are, what we're doing down the road, right? Maybe it goes this way. Knight of Pentacles is trying to look up at that mountain and think, yeah, that's the goal. That's where I want to go. That's what I want to do. That's the detail. That's the color of the wallpaper. Okay. And so then we have something that we can work toward. And put that in the wrong place, didn't I? We have something that we can work toward, and we have the luxury, I guess, where we have the peaceful calm with the Four of Swords of knowing that there's an end in sight. knowing what the end goal is. If it's an open-ended goal, the Ten of Wands is like, this is never going to stop. I'm going to be doing this forever. There's no relief, you know? And we'll start getting exhaustion. I feel like you got a neck thing. Do you have a neck thing right now? I feel like you got a neck thing. And you do herb bundles or something like this, right? Or you perfume, or you burn herbs or incense or something as part of your practice, because I'm kind of getting that vibe right now. It makes me want to burn some Nag Champa or something. But the Four of Swords now is kind of like the peacefulness we have inside because we know what the goal is. Okay? And so I feel like this is going to be your feeling inside. It's rest, it's calm, it's not stressed out. If we have this open-ended goal, there's no end in sight. It's just a level 10, backpack full of bricks. It's like, I can't do it. Like, we start freaking out, we start panicking, right? Because this is going to be forever. It's going to be the rest of my life, right? So by having any kind of a definable goal, a clearly defined goal, doesn't matter what it is, long-term, medium-term, whatever. Having a clearly defined goal will give us the peace of mind, will let us be not peaceful and blissed out, but at least like, okay, fine, about our path, Even if that goal, we're going to just get there and we're going to keep going anyway, because you know what a 10 of Pentacles? It's not just a 10. Here's the little secret about the 10 of Pentacles. It's not just a 10. We may clearly define the goal, but once we get there, we can choose. Do I want to go to the next highest peak of this mountain, or do I want to stay here? Do I want this to be a 10 of Pentacles, or 100, or 1,000, or 10,000, 100,000, a million, whatever, right? It's unending. This is an infinite number of pentacles. Like I tell my daughter, if you can count to 10, you can count to infinity. So there is no limit. Okay, there is no actual end goal. There is no actual finish line, except the one that you determine subjectively. Okay, but doing that, saying, okay, I'm going to stop when I get to 5 miles, riding the bicycle. I'm going to stop at 5 miles. Cool, I feel better because I know it's going to end. This is me on the recumbent bike every day. It's like, I'm going to stop at 5 miles, or, I'm going to stop at 10 miles. And that kind of makes me want to work harder, because it's like, okay, I can do 10 miles, right? And then you get there and you think, well, maybe I'll do another 5 or 2 or 3, or maybe I'll just be done, But we have to have that clearly defined goal. Gives us the Four of Swords, the peacefulness. This card is a card of truce. That's what the title of the card is, the Lord of Truce, which is saying, okay, I'm going to reduce my internal stress because I'm not at odds with the path anymore. I've defined the goal. Okay? I think this is really good for you. I think this is something that you definitely need right now in order to maintain your current momentum and to keep going. And, of course, with the Ten of Wands, we can try to find ways to lighten the load. Are there things that you don't need to be doing right now? If you clearly define your goal, also think about it. If you clearly define your goal, you're going to realize that I don't need all that other nonsense because it's not part of this goal. If we don't have a clearly defined goal, we don't know what we're going to need. We're going to pack all the bricks in our backpack because you never know when you might need a ton of bricks, right? But if we have a goal, then we can say, well, I don't need all these bricks, maybe just 1 or 2. So it allows us to be more efficient with our energy, right? And the High Priestess is part of this trust now. It's kind of like saying, I know kind of what the goals are. I know where I'm headed. I know what's at the top of the mountain. And we're trusting in the High Priestess, who is trying to lead us to our best life. The High Priestess wants to take your hand and lead you gently, sometimes not so gently, to your best life, to your goals. So then we trust in the process. We trust in our intuition. We trust in our inner knowing. We trust that I may not know my way out of the dark, scary forest, but I trust in the process. I trust in myself. I trust in spirit, and I know it's going to be okay. Things are going to be okay. All right. Things are going to be okay. Now, Path of the Serpent. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. The readings are totally free. 8 of Cups is your general energy. We're kind of losing hope here at first, right? When we're where we started from today, at least, it kind of feels like the water's draining out of the cups. It kind of feels like this is becoming less and less tolerable. Less and less tolerable. I'm not running away from it yet. There's no storm actually yet, but God, there looks like there's a storm brewing, right? And it looks like the water's draining out of the cups. The cups are seeming kind of chipped and broken, like I've really been through it. And it's getting harder to be cheerful. It's being harder and harder to just kind of be happy and be, gung-ho about this path that we're on. Okay, so I feel like this is that kind of soul weariness that we need to somehow stoke the fire again, right? And I think we do that sometimes by we have too many logs on the fire that it's putting the fire out. Maybe there's been too much internal stress, right? Too much wind will blow the fire out. Okay. So I think by this process, like we've been talking about, of defining our goal and that sort of thing and reducing the weight that we're carrying, I think that we can start to repair some of these cups. We'll start to feel better emotionally. See, we've stabilized the mind here, and we're going to stabilize the heart as well, right? We've got, of course, our air and our water. Now, when we're doing our fire to earth spiritual electrical circuit of creation, right? Fire to earth, what gets in between fire and earth? What has to conduct the spiritual fire to the earth? This is the process of manifestation. Okay? How does that process work? Well, the current, I like to shake the cards like we're in an iPhone. The current has to go through the human heart and mind to reach the earth. Okay? And I talk about this almost every day. It's kind of my favorite thing. And if our heart and our mind are all jumbled up and crisscrossed and upset and tied up in knots, this current is not going to manifest. And you will not get your goal. You will not manifest your intention. Okay? This is fire and earth. Above to below, heaven to earth, impulse to action, will to implementation, inspiration to reality. It's the spiritual electrical circuit of creation that has to go through the human heart and mind. Okay? So you're stabilizing your mind. That's a good thing. And I think as we stabilize our heart, then we'll be able to just kind of trust in the process, and we'll have the high priestess as the linkage. Sometimes it's the magician, that's the linkage. Sometimes it's the high priestess, that's the linkage. Okay? So I think we have a lot of very good cards here today. I think this is going to be really, really prosperous for you. The Ten of Pentacles is showing that there is wealth and abundance, and your goals are in front of you. We know what they are. They're clearly defined, and we're getting there. Right? And you're going to recognize it when you see it, and it might be a business thing. It might be family stuff, relationships, career, vocation. Your creativity might be your own YouTube channel, your own Etsy shop, or whatever you're doing, right? Whatever the goals are that we've clearly defined now, you will recognize them when you see them. You are trusting in Spirit to lead you there. You've got to do the hard work. Spirit's leading you there. Spirit's not carrying you there. Spirit's in front of you, and you're holding on to the hand of the high priestess. You still got to use your legs. Okay. But you will get here. And this is a card in the position of the environment. Your relationship with the environment, right? So you're realizing the fruits of your labor. You're going to get that manifestation. Whatever you're trying to manifest, it will work. Okay? You will become the magician. I wonder if this is going to be that magician card. The Lover's card is the kind of the fear, the worry, the concern. Okay? And I wonder if part of your energy now is starting to wonder, did I commit to the right thing? Is this something that I really should be giving my all to? Because the Ten of Wands is your all, right? It's everything that you're capable of giving. Yeah. And of course, the Ten of Pentacles is everything you're capable of receiving. So it's, but this is, I think, really the concern is that we have put all of our eggs in one basket, and we're kind of wondering, is this the union for me? Is this the relationship for me? Did I marry myself to the right path? This doesn't have to be a person, doesn't have to be romance, right? It doesn't have to be an interpersonal love story, but it could be. Okay? It just depends on you, right? But if we're looking at the future and we're seeing the future and we're realizing that, okay, that calms me down now because I see that there is a future here that I'm working toward. Maybe this is a relationship. And the Knight of Pentacles is looking at the top of the mountain and thinking, okay, yeah, this is worth the effort because there is a future here. There is a future here. And what that does, instead of giving us the Eight of Cups, it's going to give us that Lover's card back. And it's going to say, look, you have absolutely made the right choice. Okay? And I think as we respond to the uncertainty of the Moon card, we start to question this. We start to question, I don't know if this is even the right person, place, or thing for me. I don't know if this is the right job. I don't know if this is the right path. I don't know if I've committed myself to the right thing. Because remember, the Tower doesn't have to be negative. It was a disruption of your life, that it set you out on a new path. The old structures in your life were torn down. And so it set you off on a new course. Okay? Now, this could have been the loss of a job. This could have been a breakup. It could have been, all sorts of things. But this could have been something very, very positive. This could be the beginning of a brand new relationship. This could be a surge of creative energy and motivation and a kind of an awakening for you. This could be a spiritual awakening, a Kundalini experience. This could be, you got that promotion, or one of the jobs you applied for, it came through, or you sent your manuscript off to the publisher and you forgot about it. Then one day you get the letter back saying, we want it. And it's something that changed your life significantly. It's a story you're going to tell your kids and your grandkids and your neighbors and all this stuff. And maybe it's part of your YouTube channel. I don't know. So it's kind of like things are torn down first, and we're thrust into the dark, scary forest of uncertainty. But if we can trust in spirit and trust in ourselves and do the work, stabilize our heart and mind, clearly define our goals, we will come to unite with what is meant for us on this path. You will have confirmation that this is the right path for you. Okay? And there is your confidence, there is your superpower, that's you. That literally is the Leo card, right? And this is someone who was able to stoke their fire. Not too much wind to blow the fire out, not too much water to douse it, not too many logs on the fire to sort of to overwhelm it. It's just the right amount of elements, the right amount of everything that is allowing your fire to burn steady and bright. The flame is not going out. Okay? Let's look at the mystery card. And the mystery card will be the Magician or the Empress or the Ten of Cups or something along those lines. Something very blissful, maybe a Nine of Cups. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see. Queen of Pentacles. Okay, even better. Because now you have the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. The Knight is looking at the future. The Queen of Pentacles is looking at the past. The Queen of Pentacles is looking at the long and winding road that you took to get where you're going to be. So the Knight is looking at the future and thinking, who am I, where am I, and what am I doing in the future? Realizing karma, what I do right now, all my thoughts, words, and deeds in the present moment is creating my future self and my future reality. On the other side of that coin, the Queen of Pentacles is looking in the past and realizing that every thought, word, and deed from the past, every thought, word, and deed in history has brought me where I am right now, has made me who I am, where I am, and what I'm doing right now, has created my current self and my current reality. So it's karma. It's looking at karma from both angles. Both angles are kind of centered on the present moment. The choices we make right now are affecting who we're going to be down the road and what we're going to be doing. Ourselves and our reality is being created right now in the choices that we're making. Okay. So I feel like this is a really good card because it's kind of saying look, you're going to get to your Ten of Pentacles goal and you're going to be very happy that you did all the right things today. This is your future self. Very satisfied. Understanding the reason why everything's happening the way it is today, right now. So this is Yeah, this is perfect. This is wonderful. And also, we've got this idea of looking at the future, looking at the past, and guess what? The princes are focused on right here, right now. The knights look at the future, the queens look at the past, the knights and the princesses, the princes and princesses are focused on the present moment. So they're both kind of looking and thinking, it all depends on what you do right now, Leo. Your past self is looking at you. Your future self is looking at you. And I like that. And I think that this sort of motivates you, knowing that everything you do, every step you take, every word you speak, every thought you think right now is creating your future self, molecule by molecule, spiritual atom by spiritual atom, right? That motivates you to work hard, but work efficient, work smart, So I love this reading for you. I think it is absolutely powerful, and I think, really, really great things are coming your way. We're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. If you want to watch the extended readings at the website, go to doveandserpenttarot.com. Also find me on Patreon. Okay? Go check out my wife's channel. She does tea leaf readings for all zodiac signs over at Ula Tea Leaf Readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. These readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.